Welcome back to our Dawn of the Zeds playthrough. We're about to begin turn number 12. And with every turn we have to have an event happen, so let's find out. And we get the space artifact found. As you can see right at the beginning here, we have the text, so we have to read that. It says, make a fate draw to determine which track the artifact marker is placed on. And then roll a d6 and place the artifact on that space. If it's brought back to town center, increase the research level by 2 or by 3 if there's a science hero currently on the map and not in the hospital. Well, we have that right now. So we have to make a fate draw to find out where the space artifact is located. And we look at the top of the card and it says the tunnel. So we have the space artifact in the tunnel. Now we need to roll a d6 to find out which space it's on. And it is on space number 2, which I think just happens to be the space that Pickles is sitting on. So in the security guard post, there is the space artifact. That's very lucky. I'm being very lucky this game, as you can see. Okay, let's take a look at the rest of the card. So, Raiders we do not have yet. The Rangers we do have. Now they get a free 2-space movement. They are here. And I think, for now, I think I am going to leave them there. So let's just have the Rangers not move. And we have refugees. Now we have a 2 here, so that means refugees are going to move 2 spaces. So these refugees are actually 1, 2. They actually make it to the town center. And what happens when refugees get to the town center is they go into the refugees camp. Now, also the infection level increases by 1 because they bring with them, of course, some diseased individuals, and that leads to problems. So that is the one of the refugee units moving 2 spaces. The other one is up here at the farm. They're also going to move to 1, 2. So they're going to number 1 track of the forest track. Okay, so that's the RRR movement phase. Now we have an outbreak on a 7+, and as you can see, we just dodged it by 1. Our infection level is at 6, so there will be no outbreak. And now, consume supplies is a yes. And we have lots of supplies, 14, now we're down to 13 supplies. And back to the rest of the card. Now we're into the Zed movements, and you'll notice here the first Zed movement is the highway track times 2. It means all Zed units on the highway track will actually move twice this turn. Well, we only have 1 unit here, and it will move from Ingberg into the space with the weakened, casualty-ridden civilians. Now the Zed unit itself is already 1 hit away from being eliminated, and so are these civilians. So we're going to have, right now, luckily, not before when the outbreak, it's going to go up by 1 the infection level for this hand-to-hand combat. And the civilians are twice as strong as the zombies. There are 2, the Zed units are 1. So on the table itself, we will be looking at the 1/2. Which should be okay for us. Well, let's have a roll and find out. And that's a 5, so I think that's going to be pretty good on the 1/2. If we look at the 1/2, a roll of a 5 means the attacking units, which is the Zeds, take 3 hits and the defenders take none. So basically, these casualty-ridden civilians just destroy this Zed unit without any problems at all. So they go back into the zombie bag. And that's the end of them. Now, had they survived, the Zed units, they would move again, but there are no Zed units left there, so there's going to be no more movement on the highway, even though it says times 2. Now we're over to Zed movement in the tunnel track, and this could get a little problematic. We have a strength 7 unit. Now they're in catacombs, so before they move, we have to make a die roll to see what movement they're going to do in the catacombs, and it will be a 4. Wow, we're just dodging everything here. Because in a catacomb space, if you roll a 4 or a 5, the unit remains there, so they get turned around and they don't progress any further down the track. So they're not going to be attacking our diamond security guards. So that's it for the Zed movements. And now onto us, and we actually, this is a very good card, we get 4 actions. So I have to decide on the 4 actions. Well, gee, the first action I'm going to do is I'm going to use Pickle's move action to pick up this, the space artifact. Now I'm going to put it on top of him. You're supposed to put it underneath, but it's just easier for me to keep track of. So that's action number 1. Action number 2, I'm actually going to have Doc Seaver try once again to do some research in the lab. Now I need a 5 or a 6, looking over at the table, and I don't have to spend a supply to try to get to the next level of research. So let's hope for a 5 or 6 on our second action here. And that's a 6. So in fact, the Doc succeeds at research, and now we're 5 on the table. Now, I mean, this is really good for us because once next turn, if Pickles can get the space artifact to town, we're going to jump 3 research levels over here, and that's going to take us right to deploying the super weapon. So I don't know, my luck here is just getting pretty crazy. So that is that's 2 actions. Right now I'm going to have the sheriff boss these guys around because I always forget. So let's do that right now. He's going to tell the civilians to go do some rummaging around. A 4, and I do believe that a 4 is going to net them 1 supply. So the supply we just used is come back. So now we're back to 14 supplies. So the sheriff's bossiness pays off this time. Still have 2 actions left, and I will have, I'm trying to gear up more ammunition. I'm going to have Pickles here. He used his move action to pick up the artifact, so he can't move anywhere, but he still can forage. So I'm going to get him to forage. Now this is for ammunition, so we get a 5 and a 4. So a 5 is going to net us 1 ammunition. So we go up to 7 ammo. And I still have 1 more action left. And I think I am going to take Doc Seaver and move him out of the laboratory because his work there, as far as I'm concerned now, is done. Get him moving down the highway track and try to get back to Ingberg and reduce some of our infection levels. So he's going to go 1, 2, 3, 4 to the number 2 space. So the next time he'll be able to go 1, 2, 1, 2, 3 and get over to Ingberg, you know, provided we don't have a bunch of issues here. So I believe that finishes off all of our moves. I don't think I missed a move. Forgot to finish up the fate card, and the fate card says play this card. Place the Zeds leader marker on the closest strongest unit, so strongest if tied, Zeds unit to the town center. It gains the +1 attack ability. So what we need to do is we need to take the Zeds leader token and place it on the closest Zed unit to the town center, which is the one up here on the forest track. Our newly formed civilian Zed units. So they're going to get the leader, which gives them a +1 shift. So you can see there's going to be something nasty going on up there soon. Anyway, that is now the end of turn 12. It was a fairly big turn with lots of stuff going on. Join me next time for turn 13.